Tonight, but the Montgomery City Council did finally approve a budget for the 2026 fiscal year.
The $353 million spending plan passed on a vote of 6-3.
The budget continues a trend of year-over-year increases thanks to added revenue. WSFA 12 News reporter Simon Schuessler at City Hall for us tonight. And Simon, a raise from the firefighters union was one of the sticking points this evening.
Yeah, and in the end, Mark, they did not get that raise. Now, Councilmember Glenn Pruitt did try at the last minute to kind of get a smaller raise for firefighters in that budget, but his amendment failed by just one vote. But there was, a lot of discussion about the firefighters raise.
Dozens of Montgomery firefighters left City Hall disappointed. The 2026 fiscal year budget the City Council passed did not include the 10% raise they asked for. Just before the final vote, Councilmember Glenn Pruitt suggested reallocating $2.5 million from the police department's budget, but his effort fell just short.
In our haste, last year we did the 15%, and I don't have a problem giving PD 15%, but I do have a problem since we have compared them to public safety that we didn't include them.
Mayor Stephen Reed says the city will consider a raise again in next year's budget.
We'll make sure that we get with fire and rescue and leadership and do a pay study to make sure that they are where they need to be, and to me, that's right there with the very best. The thing is, when it comes in late, it's really hard to kind of go back and change it because there's a domino effect.
Another point of controversy was how to use fallout funds, money from last year's budget that went unspent. Some council members say they don't know how much the city has left over and want at least some of the money divided between each district's discretionary fund. But Mayor Reed says it would better serve the city to put the money in reserve accounts.
We don't know what all the numbers are, what we'll settle out until we settle it out, and that'll be another 4 to 5, 6 weeks.
Maybe they ought to feed y'all this when y'all are asked to come to budget meetings during the summer, when the same person who's bringing up this amendment skipped all of them. Correct. So the question I have is, why are we disrupting and sabotaging the budget?
Does not seem like an overreach of any kind. It's just a way for us to understand exactly where we landed at the end of this fiscal year.
Yeah, and I spoke to both the mayor and Councilmember Pruitt about those fallout funds. Now, Pruitt wants the money in his discretionary fund because he says the previous amount in his discretionary fund and all the other city councilors was just not enough at just around $100,000. But Mayor Reed says that the fallout funds are needed in reserve accounts to keep the city's strong bond rating and preserve a rainy day fund for emergencies, among other issues. And speaking of the firefighters, Mark, they will receive a 5% merit increase that's budgeted for all city employees. All
right, that's good news, Simon. The 3 no votes for that budget on council tonight were from members Grimes, Beard, and Pruitt. The new plan takes effect October 1st. The Montgomery